Welcome to Count Stackula on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. Today, we are talking the 7 silver stacking myths. We've got a beautiful unboxing. Let's dive right in. All right, so we're gonna start out with this unboxing. Interesting little story is they put it in my mailbox. It's rather large and my mailbox is rather small. So I had a little incident. I have not seen these coins yet, but it would not come out of the mailbox. I had to actually cut it out of the box to remove the contents in order to safely get the package out of the mailbox. Always keep a knife handy. I have one on my keychain, so it was very easy. And yeah, I was able to get this package safely out of the box without having to, too much trouble. But it is a little, it's thick. It's thick because we've got more than one in here. We've got a few. So anyway, let's just get right down to it since I've already seen the packaging, but I have not opened the coins yet. This is what we're all here for, or at least some of us might be here for. I'm sure you've probably already seen a bunch of these on YouTube. I have specifically been avoiding videos because I kind of wanted to have my own impression, although I have seen many images that, it's unavoidable when you are subscribing to other stackers channels. But I have here the previous year's iterations. We'll take a look at those and compare, but let's get right down to this 2-coin set, the 2023 Morgan and Peace silver dollars. Bam! Wow! Look at the luster. Oh my goodness. Yes, these do not disappoint. This is probably not the first time you've seen them, but damn, these are beautiful. Wow, this is the first time I've seen them, at least in person. Let's get rid of this crappy, cheap packaging that they put in there. And let's get a uber close-up on these coins. 2 at a time. Wow. I don't see any imperfections, and that seems to be a common theme. Looks like they took the time to really dial in this beautiful minting process. The reverse proofs are exceptional. All right, let's take a look at the reverse. The Eagles. Damn! Look at that. San Francisco Mint. You can see the little pervy down there, and they put it right there in the traditional spot. Wow, these are gorgeous. I kind of just wish that they hadn't minted so many, but they really are something special. The rim is not frosted, wow. I really like it. All right, let's do a quick side-by-side. Some of the year's most beautiful US Mint releases. There they are, the 3 finishes. So, have you heard that they're doing this again next year? All 3 finishes? That's surprising. I mean, they don't do all 3 finishes for the Silver Eagle every year, but now this is a thing for the US Mint. So I'm happy, because if they did all 3 finishes for the Silver Eagle, or if they did even more than 3, that would be pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of people would buy into that. They'd probably sell well, but man, they really just blow up the mintages this year. I guess in a way, they did it so we don't complain. The website had a lot of issues in the past, and that was a recurring theme, a real messy headache having to deal with the US Mint and their tragic website bandwidth issues. And this year, I mean, if you signed up for the enrollment program, you got these things headache free. Now, granted, you did have to wait like 14 months or longer to get them, which is just really not very professional. But nonetheless, at least you didn't have to pay for them up front. You know, they charged my account just last week, so at least it's not like they owe you the money. But anyway, we're going to set those aside, and we're going to talk about some silver stacking myths, all right, as I play with some of my poured silver, and let's talk about it. So myth number 1, silver is only for preppers and doomsday enthusiasts, doomsday stackers. All right, so that's the first myth. Well, some individuals, some silver stackers, they stack as a hedge against economic uncertainty, but it can also be a part of a diversified investment portfolio. It's not at all true, obviously. Not everybody stacks for doomsday. And in fact, will your silver actually benefit you in a HTF scenario? That is another story. But we're actually going to get deeper into that as we explore some more of the myths. I know plenty of people who don't have a fatalistic viewpoint of the future, and they stack metals. Look at Stormy, for example. You're probably all familiar with Stormy on YouTube. He is always saying how it's so unlikely that there's going to be a collapse in our currency in our lifetimes, and he's always saying that, like, that's not why he's stacking. And, you know, so there's one example. But I agree. I totally agree. I'm not stacking for a doomsday scenario. While it definitely does help that maybe it offers some protection in a doomsday scenario, but in a real doomsday scenario, like, will we be able to transact anything? Maybe not initially. And will it be in silver? Probably not. There's good evidence that it'll actually be in gold. And we'll get more into that as we go further down the list. All right, myth number 2. Silver is just poor man's gold. All right, so look, people are always saying that, you know, silver's poor man's gold. But actually, silver has its own investment merits. It has so many uses beyond an affordable alternative to gold. So its industrial applications are pretty much unrivaled, and its values are influenced by a whole bunch of different factors than gold. So industrial demand is a huge one, and it's also used in countless electronics and industry. So actually, it's a commodity like gold, but it's very different. And just because its uses, typically gold, it does have industrial applications, and more so as we explore, you know, aerospace technology. But traditionally, silver is a better conductive metal and more cost-effective option for most electronics and industrial applications. All right, so, you know, it's a different commodity. So it's not trying to be just the alternative to gold. All right, so I think we put that myth to rest. Let's move on to myth numero tres. Where are we gonna put this? Got one more of those. Let's look at some more silver pours. Silver is too volatile for stable investing. Myth number 3, silver's too volatile. Now, it's true that silver prices can be more volatile than a lot of other assets. However, it can still be a stable and valuable component of a diversified investment portfolio when approached with a long-term perspective. Very true. So obviously, when you're dealing in high quantities of silver, price fluctuations in the short term can often mean, hundreds of dollars. And therefore, it's considered quite volatile. Some dealers even will admit to rolling the dice sometimes, buying silver at a time where they think is low, and rather than offloading it as quickly as possible, maybe they'll hold it for a few days or a few weeks before they try to offload it at a higher spot price. Sometimes it works to their advantage, and sometimes they take a loss doing that. But when it comes to dealers, you'll find that most of them will agree their business is about cash flow. As we take a look at a couple of my custom silver pours, the skulls, we got a hammered finish on this one, and these are both 2-ounce pieces. Something I have been striving to achieve here for quite some time, and still working on all kinds of cool skull designs coming soon, little by little. But all right, so we talked about the volatility. Definitely, if you've been in the game long enough, you've seen wild swings back in 2020 with the crisis of the COVID March crisis. Silver plummeted from, I can't remember where it was, but it went down to as low as $11 and change. And that was a pretty significant drop from, I think it was, in range between, $14 and $18 for like a decade prior. So for it to drop below, well below that mark, it was definitely surprising. However, it also recovered within a year. It was actually much shorter than that, but within a year, it had shot up to $30 an ounce silver. So, it's absolutely volatile. However, over the long term, if you implement a dollar cost averaging type of strategy, you're going to have some stability in the asset, the commodity. As we take a look at this beautiful recent pour, this is actually my most recent pour, the sea turtle, and this, guys, is a 1 ounce. All right, so I'm working on that 1 ounce size, and I came really close. I haven't quite nailed it. Here's another one. But they do stack real well. They do stack exceptionally well. Let's see if I can demonstrate. Yeah, so there you go. However, these are not actually 1 ounce. They are 0.97 troy ounces. So I still have to work out some kinks. These will probably get remelted later on when I do nail it. And the detail is great, but it's not perfect because I used a tumbler to clean the metal, where I'm still exploring some post-processing type of techniques to nail in my my method with silver pouring. But it's beautiful. I love clinking it around like this. It's just, oh man, feels great in the hand. It's got a great sound too. It's got a great ping to it, Anyway, but these 2 ounce chunky pieces they're really cool. However, I'm thinking about actually kind of pancake them down a little bit, make them thicker, make them bigger. So they won't necessarily stack with the 1 ounce pieces. They'll just be bigger versions of them. The reason why I hadn't done that in the past is because I wanted them to easily fit back into the crucible. With bigger pieces, they're not gonna fit. So I'd have to, melt them more than once. Moving on to some more silver myths. Only economic collapse will make your silver valuable. Now, this is obviously untrue, as we've seen many times in the past that silver actually is quite volatile, and that it does go through peaks and troughs, just like every other commodity. Silver can be a hedge against economic uncertainty, and its value is influenced by a range of factors. So industrial demand, currency fluctuations, geopolitical events all play a role in the valuation of silver. And a complete economic collapse, which is often talked about within the silver community, is not a prerequisite to high value silver. Moving on to the next myth, you need a vault or a safe to stack silver. Is this true? While I would point you towards picking up some of my beautiful 3D printed coin storage solutions to keep your silver and gold safe right here at home. Here is a 5 ounce stacker bar box. We also have the brand new mini monster box. Silver Eagle mini monster box holds 100 silver eagles in tubes. Even got the sea green or US mint green color to match. Beautiful, nice little mini monster box. Got that awesome pattern on it. Here we have one in black. And that's not all. My best-selling product right here, the 10 ounce bar in capsule, 10 ounce bars. And this is for your Royal Mint size, your Royal Canadian Mint size bars and capsules and the like. There's plenty of other generic 10 ounce bars that fit in the same capsules that will fit in this box. Fits 100. And for those coin stackers out there, we've got this is a 38 millimeter coin storage solution for 50 of your rounds in capsules of the about 38. It will fit bigger or smaller depending on the size of your capsule. So I do have multiple sizes of these, but this is the 38. However, there is some blend, because they're so close in size, the 38, 39, and 40. They pretty much fit in there, and I have 3 different sizes for those. I also have a number of other boxes available in the links in the description down below on eBay for you to check out later. So, do you need a vault? Do you need a safe? Well, here's one option. This conceals what's inside, So if it's concealed, right, that's a little bit of protection. Nobody's gonna know what's inside. So that's one secure storage solution. But you want to have a secure storage solution it's essential for your valuable assets. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a large vault. A lot of investors, a lot of stackers will safely store their silver at home in safes, safety deposit boxes, and even on some rare occasions, people will use third-party storage services, vaulting storage. Okay. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending any of those. However, if you are going to keep a safe at home, it's definitely a good idea to get, a fire rated. There's some good information out there on YouTube about what type of safe to get. And you want to get one specific to your location and your situation. So if you live on the 10th floor of an apartment complex, you're probably not going to get a 700-pound safe. It's just not going to happen. But you want to get something that fits your needs. So that is the last Morgan and Silver Dollar box. But we have a couple more myths. No one will buy your silver if spot shoots the moon. Is that a myth or is that true? No, this is definitely not true. I've been in the silver stacking game long enough to see these heavy peaks and troughs. And when silver goes and shoots the moon, when it goes to 30, the last time it went to 30, it was during the silver squeeze in February of 2021, I believe. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong on my date. But were people buying silver at that time? Heck yeah. I wasn't personally, because I did not support the silver squeeze movement. I was not interested in purchasing silver at $30 an ounce, but so many others were, and they were even going on YouTube and saying, dude, I'm gonna buy on this specific date, we're gonna squeeze silver. It's gonna be like GameStop. And they pushed the price about $2. But you know what else happened? APMEX, all the bullion retailers, they kind of took advantage. I mean, they saw it coming a mile away. Everybody was advertising everything. So what did they do? They raised their premiums. Yeah. So they tried to squeeze you while you were trying to squeeze them. And it just doesn't work for the physical market. It may not even work for the paper market. But, who will buy your silver if it shoots the moon? Everyone. Because it's getting so much media attention. People that had no silver at all, had never even known about the commodity, all of a sudden are getting bombarded on the internet and on social media by all these people talking about silver. And when the average Joe starts stacking and the price is up, that's actually a good indicator to sell into the hype. You always want to sell into the hype. And that is it's an easy time to do it. You'll ask any dealer, they will say they can't keep it in stock at those prices. If silver were to go to $50 or $100 tomorrow, no one would have any difficulty selling their silver, because people will always buy the top. It's like I don't know what it is. It's a strange obsession. Just to give you an example, Bitcoin at 60K plus. How many of you bought Bitcoin at 60K? Where is it now? Yeah. So look, everybody buys at the top. It's human nature. Moving on. No one will recognize your silver in a real SHTF scenario. Okay, there's some truth to this, maybe. This is the one maybe bonus half-truth myth. Will anybody recognize your silver in a real SHTF scenario? Well, I think there is definitely some debate to this. Now, one thing is for sure, is that this would definitely be a myth if you replace silver with gold. No one will recognize your gold in a real SHTF scenario is definitely a myth. Why? We have evidence. As recent as just a few years ago in Venezuela, when they were going through their hyperinflation crisis, silver was, well, they didn't really talk about silver, but they talked about gold, how they traded grains and flakes of gold for like food, hotel, living expenses, whatever, for grains and flakes of gold. They actually took the time to weigh that stuff out. Now that could be more of a cultural thing that they do. You could argue that. However, let's take a look. And I learned this because I studied anthropology. Civilizations, when they collapse, what remains is the silver, is the gold. It's carried over with the survivors to the next civilization. It happens time and time and again. Let me give you an example. The fall of the Roman Empire. When the Western Roman Empire collapsed in the 5th century AD, various factors contributed to that decline. Economic instability, invasions, political fragmentation. Some Roman citizens likely sought to preserve their wealth, silver and gold, as they migrated to different regions. The movement of people and the preservation of wealth played a role in influencing the economic landscape of the succeeding states, medieval kingdoms that emerged in the aftermath. Byzantine Empire, Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, outlasted the Western Roman Empire. The Byzantines inherited significant wealth, gold and silver, from the Roman Empire. Constantinople, capital of the Byzantine Empire, remained a center of wealth and trade. The empire faced various challenges, including invasions and economic struggle. Its longevity allowed for the continuity of wealth and culture and the appreciation for precious metals. Let's look over in the South and Central American civilizations. The fall of the Aztec Empire, centered in present-day Mexico, fell to the Spanish conquistadors led by Cortez in the early 16th century. Aztecs accumulated considerable wealth in the form of gold, some silver, which was collected through tribute and trade. And the Spanish conquered the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. Much of the wealth was seized by the conquistadors, and the precious metals were transported back to Spain, contributing to the influx of wealth during the age of exploration. The same thing could be said about the collapse of the Incan Empire, the Mayan civilization, pre-Columbian era. It happens every time a civilization does collapse. Typically, what is carried over is the gold and the silver. To a lesser extent, the silver, which is why I say it's a partial myth. So in a real SHTF scenario, your gold in any quantity, in any form, is definitely going to be an asset. Silver also, to a degree, plays a role. However, due to the fact that it's probably a lot heavier to carry around in a pre-industrialization type civilization, this is why they relied heavily on gold, more so than silver. So that is going to do it for us today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed these 7 myths that we have thoroughly explored, along with the beautiful new US Mint releases. Let's just show off a couple more pieces before we go. I'm working on that 1 ounce size right now. So close, so close. This has been Count Stackula. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Channel really needs your help. Stay tuned. There's going to be some really great content coming. Keep stacking. Thank you for watching. Peace.